Process synchronization. CPU switches rapidly between processes to provide concurrent execution. In time-sharing environment, CPU is switched among the processes. Control of the CPU is transferred from one process to the next process. While a process has partially executed, CPU is taken away and given to the next process. After some time, during the execution of second process, it is taken away and will be given to the next available process, and so on. In fact, a process can be interrupted at any time during its execution, while the process has partially completed its execution. This rapid switching of CPU from one process to the next process is known as concurrent processing. Concurrent processing allows the simultaneous execution of multiple processes. That is, multiple processes can progress in their execution at the same time. Concurrent access to shared data or shared resources may result in data inconsistency. Concurrent processing, it works fine if the processes are independent of one another. However, in case of cooperating processes, concurrent access to shared data or resources such as memory or I/O devices, it may result in inconsistency. For example, if a process has been interrupted while it was updating a shared data, this may leave the data in some invalid state. So the other processes who are going to access the same shared data, they may found or they may read some invalid value. Maintaining data consistency requires mechanisms to ensure the orderly access to share data or resources. These mechanisms are known as process synchronization techniques. Process synchronization is a way to coordinate cooperating processes that access shared data. To explain the process synchronization, let's take the example of producer-consumer problem. You may recall the producer-consumer problem that we discussed earlier while we discussed shared memory model. In this problem, there are two cooperating processes known as producer process and consumer process. Producer process produces the information that is consumed by the consumer process. Both processes, they share a memory region. Producer will place information in this region and consumer process will remove the information from this region in order to consume it. The challenge here is to ensure that data integrity in this shared region. We have used following data structures to implement the producer-consumer problem. A constant buffer size, which is having the value 10, a data structure of type item, an array of 10 elements, and 3 integer variables have been declared and initialized to 0. The shared buffer is implemented as a circular array with 2 logical pointers in and out. As you can see in this figure, the buffer has been implemented as a circular array. And the size of this array is 10 elements, that it can hold 10 elements at maximum. To access the elements from this buffer or from this shared region, we will use 2 pointers in and out. Variable in points to the next free position in the buffer, and out pointer, it will be used to refer to the first full position in the buffer. So in variable will be used by the producer process, and out variable will be used by the consumer process. Counter keeps track of number of full buffers. So how many elements or items are there in buffer at any given time, it can be determined by reading the value of counter variable. Counter is a shared variable that is shared between the consumer process and the producer process. Here is the code for the producer and the consumer process. Producer process is as follows: while true, produce an item in next produced. While counter is equal to buffer size, do nothing. This condition, it determines that if the buffer is full, in that case, producer process cannot produce any more items, because in buffer, no space is available to store these items. So producer process will have to wait until there is some room in the buffer. And if this condition is false, in that case, next produced item will be stored in the next available free position of the buffer. After this, in pointer will be incremented and counter variable will be increased by 1. This will indicate that producer process has produced one more item, and counter will tell us that how many items are there in the buffer. The code for the consumer process is as follows: while true, while counter is equal to 0, do nothing. This means when there are no items available in the buffer, in that case, consumer process cannot remove the items from the buffer. So it will have to wait until there are some items available in the buffer. When this condition is false, in that case, consumer process will remove the item from the buffer and it will assign it to the next consumed. It will increase the out pointer and it will decrease the counter value to indicate the total number of items which are available right now. Producer consumer execution. The processes are correct separately. However, processes don't function correctly when executed concurrently. What is the meaning of this? Processes are correct separately. This means if these processes have been executed in some sequential manner, then their behavior will be correct. For example, if we first execute the producer process, and when it has finished its execution, then we start the consumer process, or vice versa. We can say first we start the consumer process, and once it has finished its execution, then we start executing the producer process. So these processes have been executed separately in some sequential manner. So when they are executed separately, they will behave as they are supposed. However, when these processes are executed concurrently, that is, suppose first we execute the producer process, and during its execution, while it yet has not completed its execution, we interrupt this process and we give the control to the consumer process. And again, when the consumer process has partially executed, we give the control back to the producer process. In other words, we are switching the CPU between the producer process and the consumer process. So they are executing concurrently. So when these processes are executing concurrently, there is no guarantee that the result of their execution will be correct. Let's take an example to explain this. Suppose the value of counter is 5. This means there are 5 items available in the buffer, and both the producer and consumer processes concurrently execute the statements counter plus plus and counter minus minus. So producer will execute counter plus plus and consumer will execute counter minus minus statement, and both processes will execute these statements in concurrent manner. Following the execution, result may be one of these values. The value of counter will be either 4, 5, or 6. How surprising. So what should be the correct value among these 3 values? The correct answer is 5. Initially, when the counter is 5 and both producer has produced 1 item and consumer has consumed 1 item, the net effect would be there would be 5 items in the buffer. So correct answer is 5, which is generated correctly if the producer and consumer execute separately. The concurrent execution of counter plus plus and counter minus minus statement is equivalent to a sequential execution in which the corresponding machine language instructions are interleaved in some arbitrary order. Remember, these high-level language statements, they will be converted into the machine language instructions before they are executed. Ultimately, processor will execute the machine code. So execution of these 2 statements is equivalent to the sequential execution in which the corresponding machine language instructions are interleaved in some arbitrary order. That is, it is not guaranteed that the corresponding machine language instructions will be executed in sequential fashion. Why it is not guaranteed? Because these instructions will be executed concurrently. So their execution will be interleaved. Let's see the effect of interleaved execution or concurrent execution of these 2 statements. Here you can see the corresponding machine language code for the counter plus plus statement. It is equivalent to these 3 machine language statements. First, the value from the memory location, which is counter, this value will be copied to some register, register 1. Register 1 is a CPU register. After this, 1 will be added to the contents of the register 1. And finally, the value of register 1 will be transferred to the memory location counter. So this is how counter plus plus will be implemented. Counter minus minus can be implemented as follows. The counter value will be shifted to the register 2, which is some CPU register. 1 will be subtracted from this register value. And finally, the contents of this register will be transferred to the memory location counter. Consider this execution interleaving with counter value 5. That is, these 6 statements, which are equivalent to counter plus plus and counter minus minus. So these 3 and these 3 statements, they will be executed in some interleaved manner. One order may be as follows. At time t0, producer process will execute the first statement corresponding to counter plus plus. The first machine language statement is register 1 is equal to counter. So content of the counter will be transferred to the register 1. And this is the effect that value 5 will be transferred to the register 1. Then producer will execute the next statement, which adds 1 to the content of register 1. So register 1 will now become 6. At time t2, CPU is switched to the consumer process. So consumer will execute the first statement, which is equivalent to counter minus minus. The first machine language statement, which is equivalent to counter minus minus, is register 2. It will have the value of counter. So counter, this memory location holds the value 5. This will be transferred to the register 2. So you see here that 5 has been transferred to this register 2. At T3, consumer will execute the next machine language statement. That is, it will subtract 1 from the content of register 2. So register 2 will now hold the value 4. At T4, CPU is again, this control will be transferred to the producer process. So producer process execute the final statement, final machine language statement, which is equivalent to counter plus plus. That is, register 1 content will be transferred to the memory location counter. So in register 1, there is value 6. This value 6 will be transferred to the memory location named as counter. At T5, control will be transferred from producer process to the consumer process. So consumer will execute the final machine language statement, which is register 2. Its content will be moved to the memory location counter. So in register 2, the value is 4. This value 4 will be moved to the memory location counter. So the previous value 6 will be overwritten by this new value 4. So the final value that is now available at memory location counter is 4, which is invalid value. The correct value should be 5 at counter location. Now suppose if we reverse the order of T4 and T5, that is, first consumer execute its final machine language statement equivalent to counter minus minus, and after that producer executes the final machine language statement equivalent to counter plus plus. So in that case, what would be the value in the counter location? If we reverse the order of T4 and T5, then we will get 6 at the memory location count. Again, this is invalid value. Why does the producer consumer code produce incorrect counter values of 4 or 6? Because both processes manipulate the shared variable counter in concurrent fashion. Race condition. When several processes access and manipulate the same data concurrently, and the outcome of the execution depends on the order in which the access takes place, is known as race condition. So what we have just discussed, this is an example of race condition. A scenario where two processes, they have been manipulating the same shared data. That is the counter value. They were manipulating this value concurrently. And the outcome of the execution, that what is the final value in the counter, that depends on the order in which the access takes place. To guard against the race conditions, we need to ensure that only one process at a time manipulates the shared data. In other words, we need synchronization mechanisms to ensure that only one process is allowed to manipulate the shared data at any time. So we can define the process synchronization as it is the coordination or coordinating the execution of processes in a manner that no two processes can have access to the same shared data and resources. So at the same time, shared data or resources should be accessed by only one process. It is especially needed for cooperating processes. When multiple processes are running together and two or more processes try to access shared data or resource. Remember, cooperating processes are those processes which may affect the execution of each other because they share data or they share resources. That's why they may affect the execution of each other. We don't need synchronization mechanisms to execute the independent processes because independent processes don't share any data. These are the independent processes. Process synchronization is needed for cooperating processes. It can lead to data inconsistency. This means concurrent execution of cooperating processes, it may result into data inconsistency. So the changes made by one process may not be visible when other processes access the same shared data. The other processes may access the erroneous data. To ensure data consistency, processes need to be synchronized with each other.